Hello everyone and welcome back guys, back to another new video where today we're here with more Iracing 2022 Season 2. Yes, even more content to get through here today. This time round, we're going to do the old method of two birds, one stone and take out the all-new Hyundai Veloster N touring car here at the all-new Winton Rotor Raceway. Now, I'll be honest, never driven Winton, I don't think on any game at all. It's very, very rare, actually, that I go to a track nowadays that I've never driven on any sim. To be honest, normally I've got my sort of know roughly where I'm going around most circuits around the world. So very, very excited to be jumping into this one here today. Genuinely, nowadays, it's probably 3 or 4 tracks a year I head to that I've never sort of raced at before. So yeah, really, really looking forward to this one. I'll be honest, the Hyundai, though, coming to the platform seems a bit strange because we literally had the Elantra drop last season. I really love that car. I'm sure I'm going to love the Hyundai Veloster as well. I've always been quite a fan of this thing anyway. So we'll wait and see as to how things go today then. But let's head out then onto the circuit. First few laps are definitely just going to be sort of sighting laps. Sort of seeing where the track goes as much as anything else. I've left the McLaren rim on. Not 100% sure that's going to be the right idea today, but we'll wait and see. There's immediately feeling the torque steer from the front tyres. There as we head down in towards turn 1. Like I said, first couple of laps going to have to be super careful with this thing as we immediately head up towards another start-finish straight. Going to brake about the 100-metre ball there and tip it in through turn 1. Of course, yeah, the front-wheel drives, you really got to work on trying to get the tyre temperature into them. I've been a massive fan, though, like I said, of the Elantra. No, I never really sort of gelled with the RS3, but I'm intrigued to see how this thing in the Honda Civic fare. Now, I've had... Ooh, that's definitely not the line through there. Yeah, I've done a few laps in the Honda Civic as well, and gotten quite well with that thing. I just sort of always thought, where on earth does this track go? Oh, this is not quite the start I was expecting. That corner is... what, completely folds in on itself? I don't really know that. Not certainly showing myself in the best light early on in this new Hyundai, as well as this is a tight, twisty little circuit. I was not expecting this, looking at the track map. It's something out of a go-kart venue. But yeah, no, like I was saying though, I never really sort of fell in love with the Audi, but sort of hoping, you know, now we've got some competition for it, that generally seems to provide a bit better racing on iRacing. You know, the Spec series, you know, unless it's like a Formula car, aren't generally particularly good fun, and it's normally just because iRacing, you know, haven't been able to develop the content just yet, everything like that. I sort of briefly mentioned it yesterday with the GT4s as well. They never really gel with the BMW, and then yeah, the Porsche and the McLaren sort of didn't really sort of suit my driving style either, which didn't help. But looks like we're going to survive our first lap here then at Winton, which is very good. Braking just on the pit exit line there as we tip it in back through turn 1. I feel like this should theoretically be quite a good combo. Sort of doing that one lap, you know, sort of big curbs, drop the front wheels off, everything like that. And then, of course, yeah, still plenty of places where you've really got to be brave on the throttle to try and make sure you get the front end tipped in and everything like that as we head back through the first sector once more. Like I said, never driven this track before, don't know much about it except for the fact it's in Australia. So I'm going to make the brave assumption and say the Aussie supercars still race around here, as that corner is basically, yeah, first gear at an absolute standstill. But yeah, I genuinely can't tell you much about this track. And clearly you can tell I don't know much about it either, especially where it goes still. As yeah, a lot of the curbs though, very sort of feels old school, this place. You know, plenty of runoff in a lot of... well, I say runoff, plenty of grass. It's basically just a ribbon of asphalt made around a field. But, you know, you like old school tracks like that. Not such a fan of that line through there, however. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one, I think. But, yeah, once we sort of get a bit more used to it, we'll really try and put this Hyundai through its paces then. But, yeah, I mean, to be honest, at the moment, not feeling all too different from the Elantra. I think this thing's got a slightly shorter wheelbase, so I'd be inclined to believe it's going to handle a bit more like the Civic, to be honest, because, of course, that thing, very snappy, but very easy to sort of over-rotate and everything like that as we tip it back in through turn 1 there. I think the key with this car is just going to be working out what sort of line you have to take over the curbs, especially around a track like this. You know, it's all about sort of trying to launch the car over the first part of the curb and then get it to land off the second. is always quite critical there as we tip it in. Love those little corners there. We got a little bit of curbing, you know, sort of properly chuck it in, and the car will often stick. But, you know, just trying to keep it all clean and tidy there and still making a bit of a hash of it as we head through this little S section. Come on. Ooh, tip it in, tip it in, tip it in. First gear, I've remembered their first gear. And then, of course, yeah, the front wheels drag at the ground, trying to launch the car out the other side there as we tip it. I mean, yeah, these hairpins are... I mean, if Australian supercars do race around here, I'm sure there's a lot of barging people out of the way through those couple of corners. Then you kind of head into this weird nondescript little 90 left there. Really, really difficult, actually, to try and sort of spot the brake and work out. You know, it's always one of those horrible corners where it's completely flat. You can't really sort of see the exit. It's really sort of strange to describe. But you can't really see the exit, and therefore you've got no idea whether you overshot it until you've pretty much overshot it. As we head through final couple of turns once more, I'm going to do one more lap, and then we're going to try and do a bit of a sweat mode one, and sort of see what we can get out of this thing. But we're finding more and more pace. I think that's going to be down in... Oh no, we're not quite under the 130 mark yet. So fingers crossed here, when I go on my sweat mode lap, we can do that. Just tipping it in. Oh, through 1 and 2 there again. You know, there's a lot of curbing around here, but again, not a lot of room for error in the end, just because obviously you tend to find if you're going off, you're going in the grass or the sand, and they don't tend to allow you to get back to the track very quickly on iRacing, I mean, or in real life for that matter. So it means often, if you're going to have a crash, it's going to take a while for you to sort of reach a wall, but it's a bit like sort of in a hovercraft. You know you're going to crash, but it's going to take about 5 minutes before it happens, which is quite a funny little experience. To be honest, it's really given me sort of Phillip Island vibes of just sort of... I mean, it's a lot tighter than Phillip Island and a little bit shorter as well, but just sort of that weird flow of corners and again sort of the vast sort of field around you is really, yeah, the only way I can describe it. Phillip Island is sort of like the track that I'm comparing it to. Maybe as they're both Australian as well, might be sort of helping its case. Sort of Phillip Island, although that's got a little bit more elevation change. I mean, this is completely flat for the most part. They got a little bit through the first couple of turns, but yeah, this place is pretty much a flat track as well. Let's go for sort of a proper attack mode lap then, and you guys can listen to the Hyundai, but it basically sounds the same as the Elantra from what I can tell, to the untrained ear. Oh! His lap's kind of unfolded underneath me, to be honest, so I think, yeah, we might have to go for one more sort of attacking lap as well there. But yeah, I must admit, like I said, this thing doesn't feel too different from the Elantra. That's why I was always kind of a bit surprised when this car got confirmed it was coming. I was sort of there like, surely a lot of people that have just bought the Elantra are going to be pretty upset about that. I've enjoyed it anyway, so I thought it was well worth having the other car as well. And to be honest, at the moment, I'm not convinced about switching over to this one unless the other one sort of gets made obsolete with setups and things like that. But just very, very weird there. Is this going to be a sub 30? No, it's not. So I'm going to push and try and do one lap that's just that little bit better there. And hopefully we keep it a bit tidier on the exit at turn 2 there, because you can really use that exit curb. But I'm not sure you want to. final corner. This one's felt like a much better lap, though. This should be down into the 129s. Actually, finally able to get it hooked up, and I feel like I'm slowly connecting with this track. There we go, 1 minute 29 and a half, pretty much bang on at the end of that one, which is, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty happy with that lap. But, yeah, like I said, though, just feel it's a bit strange. This card coming to the sim so soon after the other one just kind of feels like it's in a bit of a weird place at the moment. You know, will it replace the other Hyundai? Are we going to see them running together? There's just a lot of questions about it at the end of the day there. But yeah, it's been fun though bringing this thing to Winton as well. Like I said, it's always a bit difficult trying to, you know, sort of test the car and the track all at the same time. But I've had a good fun. Not quite sure this is exactly the car you'd probably take around here just due to the nature of, you know, the fact the curbs are the way they are, you know, the grass everywhere as well, sort of it naturally drags the car away from it and all that, but certainly makes for a challenging combo, especially this little sector of the lap as well there. And sometimes, you know, that's what sort of iRacing's all about, he says as he immediately understeers off there, and exactly proves my point all the way throughout this video. But of course, yeah, Winton comes with 2 different layouts as well. You've obviously got the full layout that we're doing, and then the club layout as well, which I'm pretty certain just cuts off this sort of second half of the lap there, and you get transported straight back down in towards the start-finish line there. But very, very good fun nonetheless. You know, if you're sort of racing in series, you know, I'm sure there's going to be a few series that are going to race around here over the next couple of seasons. Well worth picking up nonetheless there. Again, not 100% sure, you know, if you've picked up the Elantra, I wouldn't be too sure why on earth you'd want this car as well. It kind of just feels like the Civic with a Hyundai badge in many ways. But, you know, if you haven't picked up a TCR car, though, it might be the way to go, depending on what you're after as well there. But I think that's going to do us, though, for this video go, guys. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Tomorrow we're going to be back with the final big test. We're going to be taking both of the all-new Brazilian stock cars to Interlagos and doing a bit of a head-to-head between those. Really, really hyped to doing that one. Hopefully, I've saved the best till last. But thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, if you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very, very soon with more iRacing content.